What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I don't know why you guys force my hand, make me make videos like this, bring out a different side of Ego. Now, if you know me personally, I'm a very competitive person. Not to say I'm always right, but when I talk boxing, people are going to have different opinions, and I'm okay with that. I understand that. Not everyone's going to agree, so when we're talking about predictions or anything like that, it's going to be subjective. People are going to feel how they want to feel. But when we're talking about facts and things that actually happen that could be substantiated, some of you guys make these arguments and force videos like this because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You say one thing, you say this fighter ducked this fighter is the reason for this fight not happening, or whatever. But when someone tries to have an intelligent conversation with you, you can't even support your claims. Me, on the other hand, I don't work like that. So I made a video about Keith Thurman and Marcos Maidana, which is a potential fight in September on the Mayweather undercard. I hope it happens because it's a great fight, and I like both fighters. However, I made a statement that the fight was initially supposed to happen with Maidana and Keith Thurman, and Team Maidana, listen to me, Team Maidana didn't want that fight. They ducked the fight. You could say whatever you want. Again, I'm a fan of Marcos Maidana. I like the Robert Garcia gym. I have nothing against the dude, but facts are facts. This is where I gotta prove it. And like I said, some of you guys turned me into Denzel in Training Day. Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. Yeah, you think you could do this to Jake? Anyway, so let's get into it. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Some of you guys leaving comments like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. We're going to see about that. So, look at the date, July 2nd, 2012. Team Maidana reject Thurman fight. Explain the issue. This is on Boxing Scene, a very credible website. So, this is coming from Maidana, his manager, Sebastian Contursi. And this is what he had to say. That fight was going to be in July. Then the name Keith Thurman appeared, which was the name we did not know. To me particularly, and not just me, nobody liked the idea because truth is Thurman is a guy who's really a super welterweight. So we don't understand who is so worried about this fight getting made. I don't know, but it came out in the press and somebody wants the fight. Who do you think is interested? Nobody really knows Thurman. It's a fight nobody understands because who has a contract with Thurman? Not Golden Boy. Move to the bottom, and he says this. We told Golden Boy that we didn't want the fight. We want a tune-up. Is that a tune-up? All big name fighters take tune-ups. And when they do tune-ups, do they do them against 17-0 opponents with 16 knockouts and a super welterweight? Question mark. And they're referring to Keith Thurman, who's 5'11". He also says Maidana will fight anyone. He doesn't care. I talked to him today. He'll fight anyone, but your obligation is to look out for his best interests. He also says, I don't know, but Maidana has been training. You saw him. He's training little by little. He hasn't had long in Oxnard. He's been there a month and a week. I don't think he's at 100%. I think he's at 50% because he only trained a month. Blah, 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 blah. Now, this is from Team Maidana, and this is a representative of Marcos Maidana as a celebrity, as a pro athlete. Does it sound like he fucking wanted the Keith Thurman fight? He's mentioning nobody really knows Keith Thurman. The fight was made. And again, some of you guys, you want to argue with me. This was supposed to be on the Adrian Broder Vicente Escobedo fight. HBO, this was before the Showtime and HBO split, before Golden Boy fighters could no longer fight on HBO, before the ban. This was way back then. And the fight was made. It was a done deal. Team Maidana pulled out of the fight. They got cold feet. It is what it is. And this is his own manager. This is not ego. This is not ego thoughts. This is ego thoughts about some shit he said. I didn't say this shit. He did it. So some of you guys are like, oh, Maidana never ducked and blah, blah. Like, how did Team Maidana not duck when his own manager, he's throwing every excuse in the book. Nobody knows who Keith Thurman is. And this was back when Keith Thurman was 17-0, 16 by way of knockout. They didn't want it. They didn't want that action. They didn't think it was in the best interest of their fighter to take that fight after the Devin Alexander loss. And for that reason, they avoided the fight, even though they were signed up to do it. So they had a round table and decided it wasn't the best thing for their fighter. It's cool. It happens. But if that's what it is, dog, just say it. Don't you guys leaving comments like he didn't duck. Yes, he did. In addition, to add insult to injury, I'm also going to put some links to my homie Ellie Seckback, shout out to him in ES News, old interviews, Keith Thurman calling out Marcos Maidana. And also my boy Chris Robinson, shout out to all my people in Vegas, Hustle Boss. He had an interview with Keith Thurman after his fight, calling out Marcos Maidana. And now they're talking about it. So hopefully this fight is made in September. But it doesn't erase the past. They were signed on to fight, and Team Maidana didn't want it. And again, the proof is in the pudding. Don't take my word for it. Read the article. That's the good thing about the internet and the beauty of social networks and just the internet age, the digital age. You guys can try, but you can't erase the past. You know what I mean? This is already up in print. No, it would take a lot of work for Team Maidana to go down and flag and pull down all kinds of videos and articles regarding this. You can't undo this. It's too late. And the article's already up. Like I said, go to Boxing Scene, look at the links that I put in, and his own people are telling you he didn't want to fight. But y'all are saying, "Oh, Ego, you don't know shit about boxing. Fuck you, Ego, man. Fuck you, man." Fuck me, why? Prove me wrong. Yeah, so adding he's a super welterweight and he's 17-0 and 16 knockouts. What does that have to do with it? Nobody knows him. That's like the oldest trick in the book. Oh, we're not going to fight Ruslan Provodnikov because nobody knows him. We're not going to fight Keith Thurman because nobody knows him. Like, that's stupid. The fight was a fight that HBO wanted, that HBO was willing to invest money and pay for. And it's a fight where you have a knockout artist, or two knockout artists, really. And it could have been an explosive fight. Now, hopefully we get it in September. Anyway, if you disagree with me, hit the dislike the button. I don't care. You try to say that Keith Thurman wasn't ducked by Marcos Maidana and his team, then prove me wrong. That's all I got to say. Marcos Maidana, still a great fighter, gave Mayweather a tough fight. He had great fights with Eric Morales and Victor Ortiz, but it doesn't change the fact that he avoided the Keith Thurman fight earlier. And again, I'm not saying Marcos Maidana's a pussy. That's y'all. Y'all talk bad on these fighters. I respect these fighters for lacing them up and having heart and courage to do what they do. So I'm not saying he was scared, like he's trembling in his boots, afraid of Keith Thurman at any point. However, his team ducked the fight because it was probably too high of a risk with too little reward. And again, in boxing that happens, but don't say it didn't happen when it happened. Facts are facts. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.